With the mission to revive the culture of reading amongst today's Indian children and build an attitude towards storytelling and literature, this event was a start to a journey that calls for volunteers from Essar to join hands in building a reading India.
At least now the new generation that will be coming with your literature will be having some ideas about that also. Right now, children don't know anything about folk stories or our culture or whatever we have inherited. They don't know anything about that. So your efforts are going to help to rebuild the whole thing.
Everybody likes to hear stories, it cuts across all ages. And lots of people say, oh, well, if you have the books and the children are attracted, they would do it. But having a story read out to you or a story told to you has a totally different connotation. And I think in India especially, the oral tradition has been, our stories have always been told. The written word came in much later into the Indian milieu. And so I think, we are just carrying forward that tradition. And I think it's wonderful because, for one, the interaction which, the volunteers would have when they go out and meet those children, it's something very, I think fruitful to both.
The foundation has conducted events in the past with Pratham Books, helping people to know about books, organizing book pledges at site locations like Vadinar, making sure that books reach the right audience. Pratham Books is a non-profit trust that publishes high-quality books for children at affordable prices and in multiple Indian languages.
Coming specifically to this event, the event was basically aiming at one thing, that we should have as much participation from the employees as we move on. Now, what happens in a typical urban scenario is, while I know the value of reading, I don't appreciate the total context of it because there is a clear, as some of the ministers say, an India within India. So how do you reach out to that India within India, and what role does an employee of Essar have within this spectrum, and while keeping their own aspirations in mind? And the response that we've got so far for the reading campaigns that we want to do, that's been just phenomenal. Whether it's Bombay or it's Vizag or it's Jamnagar, we have lots and lots of people wanting to come in and join us, and that's precisely the kind of outcome that we were looking at.
Events like these aim to sensitize people about the importance of reading and how publishers like Pratham Books are working towards making reading enjoyable and developing affordable content for children. This will help books to reach out to more and more less privileged kids who have limited access to storybooks. This will also inspire people to volunteer in reading sessions for children and will help revive the Indian tradition of storytelling.
To a vast majority of our children, if they do go to school, then textbooks are the only source of reading material that they have. Families cannot afford to buy expensive books. Beyond textbooks, children sometimes never see storybooks that are dedicated to them. They may see a magazine, they may see something on that they pick up somewhere, but dedicated for children, storybooks are something that very few children have access to. So every organization, every group that helps get books out to children can only do good. We need to be able to get more and more children to read. We need to let children have more and more access to books and story books, not school books, not textbooks.
Also rightly fitting in the context of reading and education, Essar Foundation recently organized a reading hour at the Nehru Planetarium's RMM Center for children aged 10 to 12 under the wings of Akanksha Foundation, where Essar volunteers laid emphasis on the importance of reading and literacy among children. Essar volunteers read a Chinese folktale called Whalers 3, which is a story that underlines the importance of reading and literacy in a light-hearted manner. The reading was followed by a quiz to check the comprehension and retention of the children. The reading hour ended with an activity to make paper lanterns, usually made to celebrate Chinese New Year. Essar Foundation also presented 5 copies of the book to the RMM Center's book stock.
According to me, Chinese lantern is in China they make for the new year and they pass it to each other for good luck and good day.
I think it's a great experience. It's a great event to be a part of, and it makes me honored that I'm a part of such a all-rounded activity that helps a lot of children and gets them to learn something new, which can benefit them later on when they grow up.
I learned from the story that first of all we should know how to read and write. Education is important.
We enjoy this activity by giving question answers because they really want to take our test. So by giving the test, we can know that how much do we know by only listening and enjoying the stories.